Once upon a time, in a peaceful village surrounded by golden fields, lived two sisters named Elara and Amara. They shared a small clay cottage with their widowed mother, who worked day and night to provide for them. Elara was gentle, hardworking, and always ready to help her mother, while Amara was carefree and loved admiring herself in the mirror. Every morning, Elara would sweep the yard, fetch water from the well, and help her mother bake bread. Amara, on the other hand, spent her time sitting by the pond, brushing her shiny hair and singing softly to her reflection. "I'm far prettier than Elara," she would whisper proudly, smiling at her own face in the water. One day, their mother fell seriously ill. Before passing away, she held Elara's hand and said, "My dear, always be kind, even when the world is unkind to you." Elara wept bitterly, but Amara only sighed and said, "Now I can do whatever I want." After their mother's passing, Elara took care of everything in the house, while Amara became even lazier. Elara cooked, cleaned, and mended clothes from morning till night. But Amara mocked her, spilling water on the clean floor, or hiding Elara's tools. "Why are you so serious all the time?" she'd laugh. "Work won't make you beautiful." Elara only smiled sadly, wiping her tears quietly. One bright afternoon, Amara went to the forest to gather flowers for her hair. Along the way, she met an old woman sitting by a stream, trembling from hunger. "Dear child," the woman said softly, "can you share some of your bread?" Amara frowned. "I don't share food with strangers," she said, tossing a hard, stale crust toward the woman and walking away. Later that day, Elara came by the same stream, carrying a small basket of vegetables. She saw the same old woman shivering under a tree. "Oh, poor Granny," Elara said, wrapping her own shawl around her shoulders. "Please rest here. I'll bring you some warm soup." She hurried home, cooked a meal, and returned to feed her gently. The old woman smiled after eating. "You have a kind heart, my child," she said, holding out a pouch filled with sparkling seeds. "Plant these in your garden. They will bloom whenever your heart feels pure." Elara thanked her deeply, not knowing the woman was actually a fairy in disguise. That evening, Elara planted the seeds carefully near the cottage. The next morning, she found beautiful blue and golden flowers shining under the sun. Their scent filled the whole garden, and wherever Elara walked, butterflies followed her joyfully. But Amara grew jealous. "What kind of trick is this? Those flowers should be mine." That night, while Elara slept, Amara crept into the garden and picked all the flowers, hoping to sell them in the village. But as soon as she touched them, the flowers turned into thorns and vines, wrapping around her hands and hair. "Ah! Help me!" she screamed, running in fear toward the pond. The old woman appeared once again, glowing with soft light. "Amara," she said gently, "I gave you a chance to show kindness, but your heart chose greed." Amara wept, begging for mercy, but the fairy only sighed and waved her wand. "Let your reflection teach you a lesson." The vines turned her hair into wild brambles that tangled whenever she looked at herself. When Elara woke and found her sister gone, she ran toward the pond and saw Amara crying. "Oh, sister," she said, rushing to her side. "What happened to you?" Amara hid her face in shame. "I was selfish and cruel. Please forgive me." Elara hugged her tightly and whispered, "You're still my sister. Let's go home." The fairy reappeared once more, smiling warmly. "You are truly noble, Elara. Even when hurt, you forgive. That is real beauty." She touched Amara's hair, turning it back to its soft, silky form. The vines in the garden bloomed again, brighter than ever before. From that day on, Amara changed completely. She began to help Elara with all the chores, cooked meals for the villagers, and cared for the poor. The sisters' small cottage became a place of joy and laughter once again. Every morning, their gardens sparkled with new golden flowers, the flowers of kindness. Years later, travelers who passed their cottage would stop to rest, breathing in the scent of those magical flowers. Elara would smile and say, "Kindness always returns like sunlight after rain," and Amara, now humble and wise, would nod beside her, knowing that true beauty comes from a kind and loving heart.